Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to zoology class. Dear students, in earlier class, we have learned about phylum, protozoans, their characters, and classifications. In this video, we will learn about another very interesting phyla, that is phylum Porifera. In these sessions, we will discuss in detail about the characteristic of phylum Porifera, example, as well as their classification. And this phylum Porifera, and this is the second phyla which is present in the invertebrates. Dear students, what I mean by phylum Porifera means here the word Porifera, which are coined by this word, coined by one of the scientists. His name is Grant. Grant is a scientist. He coined the term of Porifera. Here, what is the meaning of phylum Porifera means? These are the organisms. They having pores on their body. Pores means these are very minute openings. These are very minute, small openings which are present on and in of the body, and those openings are known as pores. These pores are quite common in this phyla. That's why they are known as Porifera. How they are present means, for this you should take, this is the one common example for phylum Porifera. Can you guess the name of this animal? This is cycon. This is the cycon. In this cycon, we have noticed there is a presence of small openings. Okay, these are what? Small openings are present on the body, and these are known as pores. These are what? Pores. Presence of these pores, they are known as poriferous. And this is about what? The main important characteristic of phylum Porifera. And next one is the branch which deals with poriferas. The study of porifera is known as parazoology. I got it. What is parazoology? The study of porifera is known as parazoology, and this word porifera coined by the scientist, his name is Grant, and they have pores, that's why these are known as poriferous. Next one is, and these organisms, they having many pores, that's why they look like a sponge. If you touch this sponge, you can sense it how it is. Same thing, these organisms, they are also like a sponge, that's why these are known as sponges. And this phylum Porifera commonly known as sponges because they having sponge-like structure. And these are some basic concepts of Porifera. And just to remember, the scientists who coined the name, they have in minute pores. The study of poriferas are known as parazoology, commonly known as sponges. And after that, we should go for in detail about poriferas. And first of all, we should go for habitat. And we know that. What do you mean by habitat? Habitat means place where these poriferas are living. Generally, most of all the phylum Poriferas, organisms are belonging to phylum Porifera, these are aquatic. Aquatic means they are living in water. In them, most of species are marine form. They are present in the ocean or sea. Only few species present in the freshwater. Based on this, they may be asked questions. Phylum Porifera. These phylums are quite common in which of the following habitat? Freshwater, marine water, and terrestrial, and moist place. That time you must select. Majority of these organisms are found in marine. Only few species are present in the freshwater. And do you know what is the example for freshwater sponge means? That is spongilla. And spongilla, it is a one sponge. It is quite common in freshwater. That's why it is known as freshwater sponge. And this is about what? Habitat. Next one is mode of living. How they can live in the nature. And these organisms, they may be solitary. They may be solitary means they can live single. Sometimes some of the poriferas, they are living in colonial. Colonial means what? They are living in group. Most of all poriferas, they are always colonial. They are present in a group. And another very important thing is whether they are solitary or they are colonial, but they are sessile. They are what? Sessile. This word is very important. You must focus. Here, what do you mean by sessile means? And these organisms cannot move anywhere. They can stick to some of the material that is called as what? Substratum. They cannot move. They cannot move anywhere. Wherever they are living, in that place it is going to be fixed for a long period of time, and that is known as what? Sessile. And birds, they can fly, and human beings, we can walk, and different organisms, they can move with the help of different kind of what? Locomotive structures. Options of locomotive structure, these poriferas are attached to the some parts, that is called as what? Sessile. We should take this diagram. This is the cyclone, and actually this is the rock. Or you can take any animal. You should take any aquatic tree, and this is called as what? Substratum. Once it is attached to the substratum, it cannot move, and that's why it is known as what? Sessile. Majority of all these sponges, they can show this particular character, that is what? Sessile. And after the mode of living, and next one is symmetry. As you know that which kind of symmetry they can exhibit, and all the phylum Poriferas, they can show asymmetries. If you cut the organisms into two parts, it won't give similar halves, and that's why these are known as asymmetry. If you take this second, if I cut like this direction, can you get any two equal parts? No, we won't obtain two equal image and two equal parts. That's why these are known as what? Asymmetrical organisms. And next, characters. And after the symmetry, next one is body wall. How many layers are present in case of this phylum? Means all the phylum Poriferas, generally their body is made up of what? Only two layers. That's why these are diploblastic. And phylum Porifera, These organisms are what? Diploblastic in nature because they are made up of two layers. And what are those two layers means? That is, in case of phylum Porifera, it has two layers. One is outer layer, that is known as pinacoderm. Okay, this is outer layer, and inner layer, that is known as cohonoderm. Cohonoderm is the inner layer, pinacoderm is a outer layer, and these two main layers are found in these organisms. Actually, how they are present means it is better to understand this diagram. Okay, I have drawn here. It is the one animal, that is what? Cycon. And this is the outer layer, and this is the inner layer. I got it? And these are the two layers. This outer layer is known as pinacoderm, and this inner layer is known as what? Cohonoderm. In between these two layers, there is openings are present. There is a presence of what? Openings. And these openings are nothing but what? Pores, isn't it? And these small pores are known as Ostia. These are what? Ostias. And how many pores we have seen in this diagram? Is it few or is more? And all these phylum Poriferas, they having very minute pores on their body surface, and all those pores are known as Ostia. It acts as the mouth. It acts as the mouth. What is the main function of mouth? It helps in ingestion. Like this, whatever the water, food particles, any kind of things, it enters into the sponges through the opening that is known as what? Ostia. That means sponges having many mouths. These are not mouths, they functions like a mouth. And let's call it as what? Ostia. Through this ostia, it will take water. You can take, this is what? Water. This water enters into this sponges through ostium. And later, this the central part, there is a tube is present, and this tube is known as spongocele. Seal or coelo means body cavity. The body cavity which is present in the sponges, that's what is known as what? Spongocele. And this spongocele, they can take the water and send out to the external opening. And water is enters into the spongocele, and this water is removed out with the help of this opening. And this opening is known as asculum. What is that? The external opening of sponges, that is known as what? Asculum, through which water goes out. And this is ostia. So the ostia water enters into the spongocele. From the spongocele, water goes out with the help of the external opening, that is called as what? Asculum. And you should remember these two important terms, they will ask for exams. Ostia and asculum, these are the peculiar characteristics of phylum Porifera. Later, this is some basic structure, ostia as well as asculum and spongocele. But now you should focus what are the two layers and their important functions. Now I will take these portions, I will enlarge. How it is visible? It is visible like this. Okay? This is in this portions I have taken here. Okay, there is a presence of what? Pores, and these pores are nothing but what? Ostia. You got it? These are ostia, and this is the outer layer, and this outer layer is known as pinacoderm, isn't it? And this pinacoderm made up of cells, and these cells are known as pinacocytes, and these cells are there, and these cells are known as pinacocytes. Group of pinacocytes to form a layer, that layer is known as pinacoderm. And these pinacocytes are very necessary for in current of water. It is necessary for what? In current of water. If water is present outside, it must be enters into what? Spongiocyte, and that force was exerted by these cells. Those are known as pinacocytes. And another one is inner layer. Which is the inner layer here? This one. Okay? And these are cells which are present inside the sponges. Okay? And this layer is known as cohonoderm. And this cohonoderm generally consists of cohonocytes. Consists of what? Cohonocytes. These cohonocytes are also known as collar cells. It's also known as what? Collar cells. Why it is called as collar cells means, and these cells they have in the collar. How we have the collar? Like that these cells are also present. We can take this is the collar like this. Okay? And this collar having elongated thread-like structure, that is known as what? Flagella. And these flagella, they can breathe continuously. It allows water into the spongocyte as well as outside the asculum. It is mainly function done by this cohonocytes. And actually how these cells are present is like this. These are the cells. This is the nucleus. This is the collar. This is the flagella. Like this, many cells are present in the cohonoderm. It is the innermost layer found in phylum Porifera. And remaining part is there, and this is called it as what? Spongocyte. Like this. This is what? Remaining part is the spongocyte. These are the two layers mainly found in this phylum Porifera. Outer pinacoderm, inner cohonoderm. Pinacoderm is made up of pinacocytes. Cohonoderm is made up of what? Cohonocytes. You must remember the two layers with cell name. Later, another thing is, in between the two layers, you may be noticing some space, isn't it? There is some space here present, and this space filled with jelly-like substance. And this is the what? Opening. Say, I draw this opening like this. Okay? And this opening is called as what? Ostia. Through this, there is a bit of what? Water. And apart from that, there is a presence of what? Space. And this space completely filled with what? Fluid. And this fluid is just like a jelly-like substance. And this region is known as mesenchyma. Mesenchyme. Mesenchyme is a jelly-like substance which is present in between pinacoderm as well as cohonoderm. And this mesenchyma, it is a jelly-like substance which are made up of many substances. So what are the substances of the cells are present in this mesenchyma beings, and this mesenchyma consists of irregular cells, and these are like what? irregular cells, and these irregular cells are known as amebocytes. The irregular cells present in the mesenchyma, and those are known as amebocytes. These amebocytes performing various functions. Generally, you can take some times, and these amebocytes they helps in production of what? Sex cells. Egg and sperms are mainly developed from these amebocytes. It is not only one function; it performing various functions based on the need of the animal. And just have described only one function, like it helps in different kind of functions. And apart from the amebocytes present in the mesenchyma, it is also consists of some small needle-like structure. Those are known as spicules. You notice here these needle-like structures are present, and these are known as spicules. And these spicules are very short, which helps in protection of what? Organisms. You might be noticed, and organisms are very soft, and there is chances of these animals get feeded by any predators, any snakes, any reptiles, any kind of aquatic animals. When they try to feed this animal, these spicules which can penetrate into the mouth. That's why these spicules are responsible for defense mechanism, and such spicules are acts as a endoskeleton. This is also very important concept. These spicules are acts as what? Endoskeleton. And generally, these spicules are made up of different kind of substance. Sometimes these spicules are made up of calcium carbonate. Sometimes it is made up of silicic acid, and it is also made up of some other protein, that is spongin fibers. In NCERT's textbook, what has given an endoskeleton of these phylum Porifera are spongin fibers. Actually, it is also consists of what? Spicules. These are the different substances they are present in the spicules. Generally, it helps in protection from the predators. And this kind of things is also mainly found in mesenchyma. And apart from that, there is also presence of some of the fibers like this. This is what? Fibers like this. And these fibers are known as spongin fibers. And all these spongin fibers, spicules, and amebocytes, and some kind of fluid, all kind of things together, we are calling as what? Mesenchyma. And this is about what? The internal structure of this phylum Porifera. I hope you people must remember the important terms which are given in the diagram. And what are those things? One is Ostia, Asculum, Spongiosil, and this spongiosil is also known as Parosil. Parozoology means study of Poriferas. That's why it is called as what? The seal which is present in the parozoans. Those are known as Parosil, is also known as Spongiosil. Next one is Spinopodal and Cohonodal, amebocytes, and spicules. These are main important terms you must remember in this concept. And by these diagrams, we confirm that all the poriferans they are made up of two layers. That's why these are known as what? Diploblastic, outer pinnacle, and inner cohonodal. I think this is the one basic characters clearly visible in phylum Porifera. After that, we should go for another characters. What is that another characters? We have studied in the earlier class. That is digestive system. And these organisms does not having any digestive system, how food is going to be digest in this organism means, and these organisms they can digest the food within the cell. That's why it is known as intracellular digestion is present. What is intracellular digestion? The digestion inside the cell. It is known as what? Intracellular digestions. How the process is going to take place means, and these monocytes they can beat continuously. It creates water current. That force of water which can collect the water into the spongiocele, to this spongiocele, and these amoebocytes they can circulate the food to the various cells. Earlier only I told you people, these amoebocytes they can perform various functions. Now, whatever the food is engulfed by this porifera, those are transported by these amoebocytes, and all the food content is entering into the cells of these organisms and digest the food. Actually, where food is going to be digested means, and generally this food is stored in oocytes. These oocytes are also found in this phylum Porifera. They can store the food with the help of enzymes. They will digest the food. It may be any microorganisms or it may be any plant source. Next one is, and this is about what? Digestive system. After the digestion, next one is what? Excretion. And what are the nitrogen waste released by these organisms? These organisms mainly they can excrete the nitrogen waste, that is ammonia. Ammonia, it is a nitrogen waste that is released by phylum Poriferas. I told you people in earlier class, most of all aquatic animals except few fishes, marine fishes, they cannot release ammonia. Most of all aquatic organisms, they can excrete the most toxic nitrogenous waste, that is ammonia. The organisms they can release ammonia as a nitrogen waste, and those organisms are known as ammonotelic. Those are known as what? Ammonotelic. You must remember this term is very necessary for upcoming classes. Whatever the organisms, if they excrete ammonia as a nitrogen waste, and such organisms we are calling as a ammonotelic organisms. This is the mode of excretion, and actually this excreted with the help of body surface. For example, this is the ammonia present in the what we call it as cell present in the spongiocele, and this ammonia is come out through the asculum along with the water. That's why, dear student, you must remember the water canal system is the specific characteristic of sponges. This is the most very important questions. Generally, they will arise from this topic. Water canal system is mainly formed in water canal system. Is the unique characteristic of phylum Porifera, and this spongiocele which can transport the water, and this system is known as what? Water canal system. This water canal system which can collect the food particles, which can transport the gases, as well as which can send out the such kind of nitrogen waste. That's why, and the transport of food and the excretion and the respiration, that means transport of oxygen, all kind of things are mainly done by water canal system, is the unique characteristic of sponges. Based on this, they will ask many questions for the examination. Next one is, this is about what? Excretion. After the excretion, how these siphon or porifera they can respire. We can respire with the help of lungs. Fishes they can respire with the help of gills. But how these organisms they can respire? That is the biggest question. But these organisms they can respire the respiration, that is, the It takes place by body surface. By the body surface. How it can take place? By the process of diffusion. By the process of what? Diffusions. Here, if it is take water and what? Dissolved oxygen, and this dissolved oxygen is enters into the spongiosel and it is taken by the cells. They can utilize this for the metabolic activities. Later, it can be releases out in the form of carbon dioxide. And from high concentration to low concentration, if any molecules they can move, that is known as what? Diffusion. And these organisms they can exchange the gas molecules by the process of diffusion by the body surface. This is the way of respirations. And after the respiration, the next thing is digestion. After the respiration, next one is mode of reproduction. And that is very important because in the reproductions we should learn about sexual and asexual and types. Based on the types, they may be asked many questions for the examinations. I hope you people must remember this content of this phylum Porifera. Now we will discuss in detail about how these poriferans they can reproduce and continue the generation. That is very vital force in all the animals. Here, after the all kind of basic physiological activities, now we will discuss how these phylum Porifera they can reproduce. And as usual, like all organisms, and these phylum Porifera they can reproduce by the process of sexual as well as asexual. They can reproduce sexual as well as asexual reproductions. What do you mean by sexual reproductions? I told you people, the reproduction takes place by the involvement of two gametes, male gamete as well as female gamete. They can fuse to each other to produce the progeny that is known as sexual reproduction. This sexual reproduction takes place with the help of involvement of gametes. And why these organisms produces gametes means because they having some sex cells, and those cells are known as what? Germ cells. And these germ cells they produces the gametes, and those gametes choose to each other to produce the progeny, and that's why these organisms they having both sex. That's why these are known as hermaphrodites. These are known as what? And sponges are hermaphrodites. What I mean by hermaphrodite? It is a new term. You must remember this quite important term is appears in zoology as well as botany. What is hermaphrodite means? If any organism consists of male and female sex within single animal, and that is known as hermaphrodite. For example, you should take a cycon. You take here, this is the cycon. Within the cycon, if there is a presence of what? Male sex. Should take it is a representation of male, and there is also presence of what? Female sex. And where this male and female is present, both male and female sexes are found in single animal, isn't it? And that's why these are known as hermaphrodite. These are known as what? Hermaphrodite. What it means? The organisms they consist of both sex in single organisms. You might be noticed flower. You should take hibiscus flower. That hibiscus flower consists of what? Both male reproductive part as well as female reproductive part. Generally, these are called as what? Hermaphrodites. And these hermaphrodites are also known as bisexual. Is also known as what? Bisexual. Bi means what? Two. Sexes means gender. The single animal they have two gender. That's why these are known as bisexual. Are also known as monoecious. Are also known as what? Monoecious. Monoecious means single organisms has two sexes, and this monoecious, bisexual, and hermaphrodite, all the terms they can give same meaning. Don't get confused with these three terms. They can use what? Same meaning. Just to remember like this. HM, B. HM means what? Headmaster. It is for just remembering. Please don't take in negative manner. And HMB means what? H means hermaphrodite. M means monoecious. B for bisexual means single organisms they having both sex. That's we might notice in case of Shiva, half part is Parvati and half part is male. And Shiva is the best example for Ardhanarishwar because he has two important sex. Like this kind of already concept we have gone in earlier past 1000 years back, and such kind of organisms they are known as what? Hermaphrodites. And later, and this is about what? Kind of reproduction which are done by the Poriferas, that is by sexual. Next one is how these organisms they can reproduce asexually, and this asexually takes place by fragmentation. By what? Fragmentations. What do you mean by fragmentations? If any part of the sponges cut into small pieces, and each pieces develops into new individual. For example, you should take it as a sponge, and due to some reason, due to water force, due to attack of predators, and different any kind of reasons, if it is cut into two parts. You got it? Now it is cut into two parts, become like this. It is a one part, and this is what? Remaining part. And these each fragments develops into what? New organisms, and that is called as what? Fragmentation. And such fragmentations we have seen in phylum Poriferas. That's why these phylum Poriferas they having regeneration capacities. Regeneration means if these sponges lost any part, that lost part again grows, and that capacity is known as regeneration capacities. First, we have noticed in this phyla, that is Porifera. Later, after the fragmentation, second kind of reproduction, that is asexual, that is budding. This kind of budding also we have noticed in protozoa, and these organisms they can produce as what? Buds, and like this. And this is the cycon. These organisms which can produce us like this extra growth, isn't it? And this extra growth that is called as what? Bud. And this bud it can detach from the parent and develops into new individual that is known as what? Budding. It is a one kind of asexual reproductions. And this bud is present inside the animal or outside the animal. This bud we have noticed is present in outside. That's why these are known as exogenous bud. These are what? Exogenous. If birds are present inside, for example, it is a one animal, this is the one bird. Okay? This bird is present inside the organism, isn't it? And that's why it is known as endogenous bird. That is known as endogenous. Yeah, if birds are present outside the parental body or outside the organism, that is exogenous bird. If bird is present inside, that is known as what? Endogenous bird. And this kind of Porifera reproduced by the budding through exogenous as well as endogenous. This is the way of what? Exogenous budding. And another mode of reproduction that is by gemule formation. That is by what? Gemule. What do you mean by gemule? These are asexual internal buds. These are what? Asexual internal buds. Internal buds are nothing but what? Endogenous buds. Because these buds are present inside the organism, and such asexual buds are present in the sponges, that is known as gemule. This is a very important characters of sponges. Dear students, based on the gemule, they have asked many questions for the competitive examinations. If you want, you can check any publication of NCERT textbook. We will notice this is the very unique characteristic of sponges. And what is the gemule? Gemules are asexual internal buds, and these buds develops into new individuals. How this gemule is present means it is present like this. Okay, this is the one structure of gemule, and this gemule has internal buds. These are what? The buds which are present in the sponges. Okay, and these are the cells. And these cells they having totipotency capacities. These are totipotency means, and these cells they can develop into any kind of tissues or any kind of organisms. That means in case of Poriferas. And these cells will be evolved into thisocytes, conocytes, pinacocytes, whatever the cells the Porifera needs, they can turn into such kind of cells. And that's why these are known as what? Totipotency cells. And these cells are known as archaeocytes. These cells are known as what? The gemule which consists of totipotency cells, those are known as what? Archaeocytes. This archaeocytes is known as what? Archaeocytes. And these archaeocytes, these are totipotency cells, they can develop into any kind of tissues or any kind of cells. Not soil tissues, it is a cell because these are cellular level of organization. And these gemule having external opening like this, and this external opening is known as micropyle. Through this micropyle, and these buds come out and develops into individual sponges. And later, in between these two layers, there is a presence of hard jelly-like substance. Okay? This is the jelly-like substance, and this substance it has various spicules. like this. Spicules are present. And we're going to take this spicules like this. And these spicules protect the birds from the predators. If any predators try to eat this kind of gamete, and this spicule which can puncture their mouth as well as the lips. That's why they won't avoid engulf this kind of gametes, because these are protected by those are the spicules. And this is the structure of what gamete we have noticed in sponges. And this is also one unique characteristic of what? Sponges. And this is the mode of asexual reproduction in organisms in the sponges. Next one is how these organisms they can develop. When the fertilization is present means in case of sponges there is a internal fertilization is present. What do you mean by fertilization? The fertilization is a fusion of male and female gametes. If it is a male gamete, it is a female gamete, they will become union, and this fusion process is known as what? Fertilization. And this fertilization takes place inside the organisms, as well it is known as internal fertilization. There is another kind of fertilization is there, that is external fertilization. In that case, the fertilization takes place outside this cell, outside the organisms. You might notice in case of frog, and male and female frog, they can release their respective gametes into the water. Both male and female gametes they are fused in the water that is outside the body. That is known as what? External fertilization. But in case of sponges, the fertilization is what? Internal. And apart from that, you should go for development. Which kind of development we have seen in phylum Porifera means, and this phylum Porifera they can show indirect development. Which kind of development here? Indirect development. You may be surprised what you mean by indirect development. Actually, two kinds of developments are present. One is the direct development and another one is indirect development. What you mean by indirect development is during the development of organism, if you observe larva stage, if you notice larva stage and larva later converted into what? Adult. And such kind of development is known as what? Direct development. You might be noticed in frog, the frog which lay the egg, which can lay the eggs, and these eggs does not converted into adult frog. Before that it converted into larva, that is tadpole. Isn't it? It is converted into what? Tadpole larva. And this tadpole larva converted into adult frog. The tadpole larva will become like this. Okay? It will become like this. Later converted into frog. Okay, this is the frog. And this frog came from the larva stage, that is the tadpole larva. And this kind of development is known as what? The indirect development. In case of human beings, this larva is completely absent. After the fertilization, there is a production of what? Adult one, that is known as what? Direct development. In case of all the sponges, there is always indirect development because they are having larva stages. Do you know what are the larvae are present in the Porifera means? One is amphiblastula and another one is parenchyma. These are the two important larvae we have noticed in phylum Porifera. The question is how we should remember this amphiblastula and parenchyma. It is very easy. These are the things we can use for your competitive examinations. And these two larvae mainly found in which phyla? These are mainly found in phylum Porifera, isn't it? Just split the word Porifera. It gives what? Pori and Pora. In Kannada, you know that what you mean by Pori and Pora. Pori means female and Pora means male, isn't it? These Pori and Pora, they are doing what? Pair. Pair means love. Okay? This is why I told this para, because it is related to the parent phylum. And this both male and female, they are doing what? Para, that is called as love, and this is called as what? Both. For both, they call it as what? Amphi. That is amphiblastoma. And in case of competitive examinations, if you see the word amphi and para, that is the one hints you should remember. These are the two larvae which are mainly found in phylum Porifera. And after these larvae, next one is classifications. And the types of classification is not described in the textbook, you only just remember. And the classification of phylum Porifera, it is based upon endoskeleton. It is based on what? Endoskeleton. And what are those important classes means? First class, that is calcarea. Calcarea, these are the sponges, mainly consist of exoskeleton, that is called calcium carbonate. If any sponges are made up of calcium carbonate, and those organisms are known as calcarea. And second type is there, that is exactinida. This exactinida exoskeleton is mainly made up of what? Silicic acid, and that is called as what? Exactinida. And this is also known as Hylospongia. And this is the another class. All these class of organisms are mainly made up of what? Silicic acid. Third one is there, that is Demospongia. And these Demospongia organisms are made up of spongin fibers. These are made up of what? Spongin fibers. And all these three classes are mainly found in this phyla, that is what? Phylum Porifera. And finally, you should know that what are the example for these phyla means. And first of all, you should remember Cycon is the best example for Porifera, and another one is Spongilla. It is a freshwater sponge. And next one is, and after that we should go for another very important example, that is Euplectella. And Euplectella, it is also known as Venus flower basket. And this Euplectella they are giving in, they are using as a wedding gift in Japan, because it is the symbolic representation of union till death. Union till death. And such pairs they are always union up to death. For that representation in Japan, they will give Euplectella as a wedding gift. And another kind of example is Euspongia. And Euspongia, it is another sponge. And another one is Leucosolenia. And Leucosolenia, Euspongia, and Euplectella, and Spongilla, Cycon, and like that many examples are there. Hylonema. Hylonema is also known as rope sponge. It just look like a rope. These are various examples of phylum Porifera. And for you people, for every phylum, you must remember minimum 4 to 5 or 3 to 4 examples. Here, just remember Cycon, Spongilla, Euplatella, Leucosolenia, Euspongia, and Hyloneum. And these are main important example for phylum Porifera, and Euspongias are necessary for, we can use as a bath sponge. And we cannot use the Poriferas as a bath sponge from Hexaconina and Calcaria because they have what? Spicules, they can damage the skin. That's why whatever the sponges we can use for skin are bathing, that is all animals belonging to Demospongia. And this is about phylum Porifera characters as well as examples. In upcoming class, we'll go through another very interesting phylum, that is phylum Coelenterata. Thank you. Thank you so much.